everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Lily and Generoso. I'm Lily.
I'm Generoso.
And I know it's been a little bit of a while. We've had a bunch of things happening, so we haven't been doing as many recipes, especially on my side at least, because as you all know, Vietnamese recipes tend to be a bit laborious. But today I'm going to be making Sup Mang Cua. So essentially, Sup Mang Cua is a soup with egg and asparagus and crab that's traditionally served at any wedding or special event. I add little baby shrimp to it because I think it's delicious, and it's actually overall a pretty simple recipe. There's plenty of ingredients as usual, but it's all one pot, and everything is just, you start with your base, you add your soup, you let it go, and it should hopefully be done in less than 50 minutes. Let's see if we can actually get that done.
Cool.
Let's look at the ingredients. So we have one whole bunch of asparagus. I already trimmed the ends that have kind of the hard part. You really don't want that in this soup. Traditionally it's served with white asparagus. A lot of recipes will end up using canned white asparagus. I prefer to use fresh asparagus just because it has a little bit more brightness, and I'm using green asparagus today because I like the crunchy element of it. We have scallions or green onions in order to do the garnish. We have cilantro for garnish as well. We have one whole onion that's going to be part of the stock. We're actually going to make the soup and throw the entire onion in there. We have a bulb of garlic. We'll probably end up using about anywhere from 4 to 6 cloves from this. I have one bulb of shallot. We'll use the whole thing. We have probably maybe like a cup and a quarter of small shrimp, already nicely cleaned and already nicely steamed, as Generoso informed me. And we have some lump crab meat. This is a little flakier because it basically broke apart when I was pulling it out of the container. If you can get fresh crab meat, totally go for it. Otherwise, you can sometimes get the crab meat in these little containers at your butcher, or otherwise, again, if you have to go with canned, it's no big deal either. And then we have 4 eggs. We're actually, for this recipe, only going to use 3 egg whites and then 1 whole egg. So we're going to dump some yolks in the process. And in terms of the broth-based things and the flavor profile, I have some Korean red pepper. We have some chicken broth. This is 4 cups. We have some oyster sauce. We're just going to use a touch of it. We have sesame oil, which is mostly for the garnish. We have some fish sauce to add that extra savory layer. We have some garlic powder. We have salt, and we have olive oil. So we're going to do a bit of prep. There's not too much in this, so it'll be pretty easy. So we'll see you first. Right, we did a little bit of prep, not much. I cut the asparagus into about 1-inch pieces. I minced the shallot. I peeled and cut the onion in half because we're going to throw that straight into our broth, and Generoso very kindly minced our garlic. So we've already put olive oil in our pan, and let's go ahead and brown up our garlic.
Is the flame on medium, Lily?
It is on high.
Hi! Nice to meet you.
Always like to get every last drop of the onions. So I'm just going to let that fry on up for a little bit. And at this point, we're starting to see that the shallots are turning color a little bit, not by much. Go ahead and add our shrimp.
So excited for the soup.
And go ahead and add our crab meat as well. I like to fry the crab meat a bit before because I think it gives it a little bit of extra dimensionality.
That's the flavor a bit.
Yeah. Some people will just actually throw the crab in at the end into the broth. I think it's actually kind of important to give it a little bit of extra flavor. Alright, and at this point in time, I'm going to add a little bit of fish sauce, just for savory flavors.
A couple tablespoons.
Not even, probably about a half a tablespoon. Going light on the fish sauce because this is already so fishy in itself.
Fishy.
And then I'm going to add maybe 3/4 of a tablespoon of oyster sauce, and this is mostly for color and a little bit of sweetness. Give it a fry. Alright, and so we're going to keep on frying this up a little bit. I'm going to probably end up adding some more oil until the crab meat tightens up, and we'll see you for the next step. Some of the liquid has fried off on our crab meat, and our shrimp is tightening up. At this point, I'm going to add some red pepper. That's probably about half a tablespoon, because I like my soup a little bit spicy. And now, we're going to go ahead and add some water. This is probably about 1.5 cups of water to begin our base. Alrighty. And I've already opened our chicken broth.
You putting the whole thing in?
And we're going to put the whole entire thing in. Of course, if you have fresh chicken broth, use it. It's always better when you can have fresh stock. In this case, it is a weeknight, and we are opting for the boxed chicken broth, which is always good as well. Alright, give that a quick stir. Okay, at this point, remember we have our half onions. Go ahead and just drop them in.
Oh.
Alright, and now let's go ahead and add our asparagus.
Such a beautiful color.
It is. Alrighty, and so what we're going to do now is turn the heat to about a medium high, and then just keep an eye on the soup, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to crack the eggs, which are going to be part of the final touch, and then cut the scallions as well. And Generoso mentioned that I did not show what this was. So this is about 2 good spoons of tapioca starch. So the key to Sup Mang Cua is thickness. I always like my Sup Mang Cua a little bit thicker. So this is about 2 good spoonfuls of tapioca flour that I'm going to add warm water to and make a slurry. And right at the end, I'm going to add it into the soup, and then we stir in our egg, and then we just shut the heat off. But that's a while from now, so we'll see you soon. We're probably going to let this stew for about 30 minutes. It's been probably about 35 minutes since we've seen you last. I went ahead and took out the halves of the onions, and I've added water to my tapioca starch slurry. So what I'm going to do is just make sure that none of the powder is stuck at the bottom. And at this point, the heat's on quite low. Alright. Just going to use my handy dandy chopsticks.
They are handy.
Give us a stir.
You'll never use my wooden spoon, will you?
No, never.
My old lady's spoon. I love my spoon.
I'm going to turn the heat up a tiny bit. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to keep on stirring the tapioca slurry until this thickens up a little bit. And that's probably only going to take a couple of minutes. And then we will start adding the final touches, which include egg and some scallion. So we'll see you very, very shortly. So we've stirred the soup, and if you've noticed, the consistency is quite a bit thicker than we saw it last time. And now at this point in time, we're going to add the eggs. So in this, we have 4 egg yolk. Sorry, we have 4 egg white and only 1 egg yolk. And I've already gone ahead and scrambled it up. So what you want to do when you add the eggs in here, you want to put the eggs in and you just want to stir in one direction so that you get little nice kind of chunks and even chunks of egg. So I'll give this one more stir before I pour it in. And then just keep stirring in one direction. You'll want the egg to cook through, of course, but there should be a decent amount of residual heat where you don't have to worry about too much of the egg being raw. Alright, at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and shut off the heat. I'm going to keep on stirring, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and actually add some green onion directly to this in order to soften them up, and then we'll start to be ready to plate everything. So we'll see you very, very soon. The heat is off and our eggs have nicely cooked through. So I'm going to just add some of the green onion just to give it the kind of extra softening time, because sometimes I like using green onion as garnish, but sometimes it's almost a little bit too raw, and it kind of takes away the flavor profile of everything else.
There's a harshness to them,
yeah,
even though they're not as intense as like a red onion, for example.
Add some of the... I I think a little bit is always nice, but I prefer to get a little bit cooked down. We'll use our handy dandy ladle. Let's give this a nice stir. Alrighty, so we're gonna just let the green onion soften literally for 2 minutes or so, and then I'm going to go ahead and scoop this out and plate it, and they'll be ready to eat. So we've scooped out our Sup Mang Cua, and I'm just gonna add a dab of sesame oil to finish. Just a couple drops. And then a few cilantro leaves, just to add a little bit of brightness.
Very pretty.
Alright, and that's it. This is Sup Mang Cua. Again, this is traditionally served at weddings, but I think it's always delicious. I hope you enjoy it. And again, if you want to make it in the more traditional way, you can always use white asparagus and crab only. I like the little shrimps. People have always changed it up. Some people add mushrooms, some people add corn, but I like the asparagus, crab, and shrimp combination. So enjoy.